What if? A phrase that inspires fear, doubt, and loathing in the best of us. What if? Today's what if, however, is a bit more fun. Since the dawn of this channel, many of you have asked to do a what if series for World of Warcraft, to dive into the what ifs of WoW. So today we start with a fun one. What if the dragons never existed? Ladies and gentlemen, my name, of course, is Akalon, and thank you so much for joining us. Remember, you can join me live on Twitch. Link in the description down below. If you are already one of the beautiful people on your screen right now that is supporting this channel, thank you so much for the support. More on how to support the channel at the end of the video. Remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and today more than ever, write some stuff in the comment section down below, specifically if you think there is a different what if scenario. In fact, that's the whole point of this. It is just for fun. I chose this topic because there is so many different avenues for us to explore. I chose to focus on a very specific, singular sort of avenue for the what if the dragons never existed, but I can tell you right now that just off the top of my head, I can think of at least 4 more what if scenarios just by changing a couple of things around. So today, I'm going to go back to the creation of the dragonflights. There are many points in our history where the dragonflights could have ceased to exist. We could have gone back to Deathwing. What if Deathwing was successful in slaughtering all of the dragons? We could go back to Sargeras. What if Sargeras' demons were successful in destroying all of the dragons? There are many points in our history where the dragonflights were, in one way or another, in danger. But I decided to go back to the moment that the Titan Keepers go to Odin, to try and convince all of the other Titan Keepers that the dragonflights are indeed necessary. Odin, of course, disagrees. Odin does not want to empower the dragons. He does not want dragonflights. What happens after that meeting if Odin was successful? Successful in convincing all of the other Titan Keepers that dragonflights aren't necessary. We, the Titan Keepers, are more than enough to defend and protect Azeroth. Now, before we get into that, let's quickly ask ourselves, what is the purpose of the dragonflights and what is the purpose of the Titan Keepers? The Titan Keepers were initially and really primarily made to fight the Old Gods. Once the Old Gods were imprisoned, the Titan Keepers were left on Azeroth to ensure that these prisons remain strong. The Dragonflight, on the other hand, was created as a defense force for Azeroth herself. Yes, in times of great strife and in times of war with the Old Gods, the Dragonflights could certainly be called upon. But their main mission, their main charge, if you will, was the defense of Azeroth. Odin didn't agree. Odin believed, in my estimation, and the reason I can say this, and it is speculation, very little is known about the motifs of Odin. We don't know why Odin exactly said no. Odin just didn't agree. He left and he went to the Halls of Valor, where he eventually got locked up by Helia. Now, of course, none of that would happen because Odin convinced his Titan Keeper buddies that, look, brothers, sisters, we don't need this. We are more than enough to defend Azeroth. The Dragonflights is non-existent. The Titan Keepers rule Azeroth. Now, for us to understand the what-if scenario moving forward, we have to understand the motivations and the personalities of Titan Keepers. Titan Keepers, of course, are made from the Titans. What are the Titans obsessed with? Order. Control. The Titans do not like chaos. In fact, one of the main charges of the Titans were to stop the demons, the forces of chaos, from destroying the great beyond. So it is fair to say that the Titan Keepers are pretty authoritarian in the way that they approach their charge. Why do I say this? Well, because authoritarianism, for as bad as it is incredible for order. There is no society more ordered than an authoritarian one. Freedom is great. Freedom is fun. Freedom leads to the most happiness for human beings. But freedom is also chaos. When every single person is allowed to make choices based on their own needs and wants, it will ultimately lead to chaos. So I think we're safe to assume that a world, an Azeroth controlled by the Titan Keepers, would have ultimately been an Azeroth pretty authoritarian. It stands to reason that any mortal race, and for the purposes of this discussion, mortal race will be used as non-god-like race. In other words, the High Elves, the Night Elves, all of them would fit as mortals. It stands to reason that no mortal race would have been without either a Titan Keeper at its lead, or at the very least, the children of the Titan Keepers, beings that the Titan Keepers themselves can control directly. This, of course, has some incredible repercussions within the story of World of Warcraft. Azshara was able to summon Sargeras and thereby destroy the planet almost. because of her lust for power, because she and she alone was in charge of the High Elf society. With a Titan Keeper or a Titan Keeper guard at the head, Azshara would most likely never have been able to do this. Even if they allowed Azshara to keep experimenting on the Well of Eternity, should the well have become corrupted enough, the Titan Keepers would have stepped in and cleansed it, stopping Azshara from doing anything else. So the truth is, Sargeras is never summoned to Azeroth. The big issue here is that Medivh is most likely also never actually born, considering Sargeras has no way and no foothold within Azeroth. For Sargeras and his demons, the way to Azeroth is a very long trek through the twisted Nether or the Great Beyond. It's going to take them a long time to get here. That is the point. So with Medivh never born, the Dark Portal is never actually built, which means the orcs can never actually be summoned into Azeroth. So we could say, well, hold up, Akalon. Just because the orcs can't be summoned to Azeroth, and just because Sargeras wasn't summoned to Azeroth in the first place, or at least they tried to summon Sargeras to Azeroth, doesn't mean that Orgwyn wouldn't still have tried to connect with the Titan Sargeras. Yes, but would Orgwyn have been successful? Again, consider the fact that the Titan Keepers would have been everywhere. The Titan Keepers wouldn't have allowed beings like Orgwyn to exist or to roam free. All of this would have had to happen in secret. So it's still possible that it could have happened. And yes, I'm glossing over a lot of the history of World of Warcraft because that's not really the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to spark imagination and discussion for the what if of World of Warcraft. So let's imagine for even a moment that yes, Orgwyn is still able to summon Sargeras, at least a portion of him, in secret, in a rebellion. Because I do actually believe that with the Titan Keepers running an authoritarian ship on Azeroth, rebel pockets would have formed. It stands to reason that we do this in real life. Why wouldn't we do this in Azeroth? Many people would not be okay with the rule of the Titan Keepers and therefore would form their own rebellions. So let's say Orgwyn is successful. Sargeras is successful in planting a part of himself into Orgwyn. As a result of this, Medivh is born and the Dark Portal is indeed built and opened from the other side. The orcs flood in. Only now, the orcs do not meet an army of mortals. They meet an army of gods. The orcs are overrun and slaughtered where they stand. The Titan Keepers may be many things and many of them not good, but they are good in battle and they are demigods at the very least. So this means that if orcs were to survive on Azeroth, there would be far fewer of them in number, nowhere near enough to start their own faction. So what exactly does Azeroth look like under the rule of Titan Keepers? Well, let's examine what the Titan Keepers have done, even though they haven't ruled Azeroth. There would be old god experiments everywhere, in my opinion. The Titan Keepers really do seem sort of obsessed almost with experimentations on the old gods. These old god experimentations would most likely have failed, many of them. Some of them may have succeeded. One could argue whether Gahun is a failure or a success, depending on your viewpoint, I suppose. But there is a very good chance that there are old god experiments running rampant on Azeroth as the Titan Keepers try and fail to create beings of incredible power that is completely and utterly loyal to them. See, I think to myself, what could be the purpose of a being like a Gahun? What could be the purpose of all of these forges and all of these experiments that the Titan Keepers themselves conduct? In my estimation, this may be to create weapons. Weapons to use against the old gods. Something like Gahun, for example, if it worked out, would have been the perfect weapon to wield against an old god. It cannot be corrupted. It is already of the void, at least in part. It is strong. It can reanimate the dead. It basically create its own endless armies. I believe this is what the Titan Keepers were after. So Azeroth would have looked like a nightmare. It would have been straight out of an H.P. Lovecraft novel. So what does this mean for Azeroth? Well, Azeroth is drained of every ounce of spirit she has available to her. The Titan Keepers need power. That power comes straight from the Titan. It stands to reason that at the point in our history where we are now, Azeroth is as close to dying as she has ever been. The Titan Keepers leaving just enough spirit for Azeroth to survive and to keep creating more spirit, but not so much that she can ever wake up. Remember, the Titan Keepers are there to protect Azeroth, not necessarily to help her be born. Their sole charge is the protection and the failure, or to ensure the failure of the old gods. What if World of Warcraft, the game, came out in this alternative universe? There would most likely be incredible wars against the old gods and the old god failed experiments. The creations of old gods from within their prisons. The experiments that Titan Keepers conducted on beings and minions of the old gods. As they get free, as they become a problem, the mortal races of Azeroth is enslaved and ensnared to deal with these issues. A World of Warcraft where the main objective is not to defend Azeroth, but to free ourselves from the Titan Keeper authoritarian grip. A game that I actually think would be quite fun to play. If not a little monotonous, but you know, we're not here to create the perfect World of Warcraft. We are here to ask the question, what if? Do we succeed in fighting the Titan Keepers? In pushing back the Titan Keepers? In freeing ourselves? A game of rebellion ensues, with the mortal races of Azeroth fighting for dear life to free themselves. This is the future of World of Warcraft if the Dragonflight never existed. But this, of course, is only one future of Azeroth if the Dragonflight never existed. I ask you now in the comment section down below to tell me what you think Azeroth would have looked like if the Dragonflight never existed. It's fun, and that's really all it's meant to be. I gave you my predictions. Let me see yours. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also write some stuff in the comment section down below. And then remember, if you want to support this channel a little bit more directly and help grow the channel, for as little as $5 a month, you get access to exclusive content over on Patreon. The link is in the description down below. Or join us over on Twitch every Tuesday to Saturday. Become a sub, prime sub, or otherwise, and gain some exclusive emotes and come hang out. It is always a hoot. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, to all the Twitch subs and the YouTube channel members, thank you so much for your support. It means the absolute world to me. As always, be kind to each other, be good to each other, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace out, fam.